Oh, Assassin's Creed is the gold edition is $20 on PSN.
The what?
Reduced.
It's the gold edition. It's $20 on PSN.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I got that. I bought that today. I'm going to be a VCS, the flight simulator. They gave us an F-18 this whole weekend to get over because everybody's in the house, so we get to fly the F-18 for free.
Do you know what though? We meet Lobo and I, and to some extent Craig. We waited so long in Discord for Ryan to just get on with this show that it's like he was a 2.5 gigabyte person.
Oh god, here we go.
You're still loading into the Discord chat. You're still
I was buffering in ES RAM. There you go. All right, well, we in here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the RGT Podcast, episode 106. It is March 20th, 2020. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope you guys are ready. Let's go ahead and get into this gaming discussion. Hit that like button. Go ahead and share it around, and let's have a good show. I'm going to let everybody do their intros, and we definitely going to start her up. So I'm going to start off with the Messiah. What's up, brother? Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Shout out to the chat. Saw there were 40, 50 people waiting. Hit the like button. We got a few topics to talk about. Not a whole lot to talk about with you guys today. So
it's never a dull moment with you guys, so don't worry. We'll fill out the show.
yeah. We've got one or two things to talk about.
All right. Mr. Sean Fox, what's up, brother?
Well, somebody in your chat says I sound a bit low.
Oh, you know what? You probably do because I just
no.
It was me. It was me because remember during the show presentation, I had to turn people down. Hold on.
Okay. Could you give me some volume? My mic don't sound nice.
There you go. No, you ain't got to turn your mic. I turned you up.
6 minutes. I'll give fresh on. Here I am. Okay, so yeah, it's been a really interesting week, right? It's been revelatory, as Digital Foundry would say. I'm so happy, man. I've been having so much fun on Twitter. Like, people have been trying to throw L's at me, but I've been dodging them. They've been bouncing off the wall and landing right back in their faces. Yeah. So, thanks for the L, but just too heavy for me. You hold it. Yeah, great. So, Play Games Not Corporations. We're in for a great show.
All right. What's up, Aaron Summers? Everybody in the chat, how y'all doing? Let's go ahead and start. I see you, Ice Cream. Roll out the red carpet for Dawn.
We got Jay Barry. Jay Barry is in the house.
Hey, Bar, I know you about to double commit, or I know you about to commit to Crossfire, but hey, if you want to jump in here, let me know. I'll let you in here for sure. Anyway, let's start. Let's definitely start. So I guess we'll start with the elephant in the room. This was the biggest thing that happened this particular week. PlayStation 5's developer conference was shown. Now, granted, this was a pre-recorded show. Obviously, they were going to do GDC, but they pulled out of the actual show due to the CV virus concerns. And now we got the full conference. Sony didn't modify the conference in any shape or way. They didn't really change anything around. It was pretty much their particular formula that they were going to go with to begin with for that particular show. Of course, everybody was really looking forward to anything for PS5. And when it comes to the casuals who watch the shows or everybody of that nature who wanted more, there wasn't really no game shown or nothing like that to give you an example. And the biggest obstacle that Sony was facing going into showing this particular style conference was the fact that Austin Evans pretty much had the Xbox Series X the day before, and he pretty much not only was showing games, he was showing you all the details. He broke it down, and the thing was, again, Sony just couldn't match that at all. We didn't even get to see the form factor of the system, even though they mentioned noise and whatnot in terms of frequencies and whatnot, but we didn't even get to see the console or the controller. And there was no updates whatsoever at the end of the show as to when we're going to get more for PlayStation 5. So right off the back, Series X pretty much had everything. Everything going for them right there. Look who jumped in here. What's up, Jess?
Yo, what's up? Thank
What's
you for
up,
the
bro?
invite.
Yeah, I was wondering, was he gonna get back in touch, bro? What's up, brother? Say what's up
I
to
know, I was a
people.
little busy, man. I was trying to wrap up some things for the week for work.
Oh, you good? You good? Say what's up to people, my brother.
Thank you. What's up, everybody?
Hey, Jess.
All right, Mr. Jez from the Ultra Preset in the building.
Yeah.
All right.
Brian, can I just, you said something about Sony couldn't match them. I think we need to put things into context. It wasn't that type of thing. It was
Oh no,
intended for
I'm
developers.
going in I'm not done, but I'm going in the public's view, like in how they saw it.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
The
and the
censor-
in the public's view, they didn't really match it, and it wasn't really like on that same oh my god like excitement type of level. It was kind of just like you're in a board meeting. It kind of felt like you're in a college, back in college or school, and you're just being taught by Mark, your teacher, on what this does and what this does. Overall, you got some good information, a lot of info. But one of the biggest things also a lot of people looked at when they came to that conference, and a lot of people were a little confused by, they didn't know whether or not PlayStation 5 would support all PS4 games. And the reason why they were they weren't really, they didn't understand what he was saying, because he said 100 games, PS4 titles were being worked on or already going to be available at launch. Now, what he meant by that was there were 100 boosted PlayStation 4 titles ready at launch for PlayStation 5, as he already clarified that all PS4 titles will indeed work on PlayStation 5. There's over 4,000 games that have already been worked on, but there will be enhanced titles. And this is what I said before in numerous podcasts that we've done here. I've stated PS4 or PS5 will have PS4 enhanced titles. You're going to get that. They confirmed that. Shout out to Eddie Lopez for the $2 super chat. He says, sup Ryan, making sure super chat works. Sup Foxy, appreciate it, brother. Perfect image, $2 super chat. He says, I like a 6-cylinder car. It's gas efficient, aka PS5. What's up, Sean? What's up, Sean? Welcome. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the panel's thoughts on this conference. I'll start with Jez. Let me go to you first. You jumped in here. You're a guest. Go
Yeah. I watched the conference. Actually, we streamed it live, myself and Merc305 on Ultra Preset podcast. It was it was a deep dive. I know Cerny has the smooth Bob Ross voice that could soothe. Just the delivery is very, very monotone and stuff like that. I kind of knew like what we'll get into. I say we got to steal that green screen background. I'm still perplexed whether that crowd was real or CGI.
It was running on a PS5.
I don't know who they were, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was very, very technical. They said it was for their GDC. I do think that it was a little bit of a miss in the fact that they publicized this. They put this on YouTube. I think know your audience a little bit better. I thought maybe they could have showed the controller, maybe showed a demo. And actually, I think I was saying this. I don't know. I've been on so many podcasts this week, and myself, my own included. The demo that they had, like with guerrilla coverage of the Spider-Man loading streaming.
Yeah, I was expecting something like that too. Yeah,
yeah, that was like better than not showing anything than what they were showing. Like that would have been beneficial to kind of show. But again, it's not for us, I guess. But it still was on YouTube. It wasn't on the GDC website, like as an audio thing. So I think the tech stuff is out there now. Now the comparisons can be made, and that's all that's been going on all week. But they got it out there. I still think that from the demonstration that they had, they're still tiptoeing the presentation of the PlayStation 5. I think they really don't want to just kind of drop the hammer like Microsoft has done with their.
I agree. Yeah,
they're in a different situation. You have big games coming out in the next couple of months that potentially could sell the PlayStation 4. So why would you just say, "Hey, that PlayStation 4 is old news. Get rid of it. PlayStation 5, here it comes. Yeah, these games will work on it." And then you got to do that whole kind of your old games will work, and are they going to be backwards compatible? Why? When you could just sell a game, sell a banger like Last of Us 2, they'll push a whole bunch more PlayStation 4s out the door, and then have your cake and eat it too. Now we're going to really do the whole PlayStation 5 reveal, pomp and circumstance. Here are the games, pre-order now. This is what it looks like. Here are the features. Consumers, go get it now while you can. This holiday, it makes sense. There's no rush for them. Microsoft had a rush. So I think that, I'm glad the techs are out there, the tech specs. I think it was a very dry presentation. It wasn't exciting as a gamer. The two biggest things that I took away was the use of the M2 drives, that they're not proprietary slots, that you could use open market M2 drives. Yes, they might have to approve them, but I'm sure there'll be some ones that will work even though Sony doesn't approve them. But at least there's competition and price.
Austin Evans made a good point about that SSD, which I'm gonna get to in a second. But go ahead, good thing I didn't cut you off.
Oh yeah, well I'm saying that was one of the big things was the memory utilization and of the expanding drive, because that was one of the things I did not like from the Xbox, going back to like this type of memory card, proprietary slot only by Seagate. And then the other thing was it reminded me of, and we'll probably get into this stuff, but it reminded me exactly of the presentation that he did with the PlayStation 4 Pro, where it's not power, but he spoke about checkerboard rendering and showing Spider-Man and showing how they achieved 4K like aspects without actually brute forcing 4K to sacrifice power, to sacrifice price and ventilation, that stuff. So instead of changing the format, basically they were able to achieve somewhat of a 4K with checkerboarding, this technique, and they showed Horizon Zero Dawn and they used Spider-Man, and it's the same kind of thing. They're showing that they're still evolving the speed and future proofing of the PlayStation 5, but they're not just kind of just throwing a bunch of high expensive parts together and shoving them in a box and saying, do what you will with it. They're actually making sure this thing's optimized, and that's what I took from it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good points. Actually, before I get to the Messiah, shout out to J Pro, $5 super chat. He says Mark Cerny was out like one of the Yin Yang twins with a remix to the Whisper song. Once you see my specs, love the show. Keep it up. Appreciate the support, J Pro. I really do. Thank you. Go ahead, the Messiah. You let loose. What you have to say on this presentation?
Yeah, again, I agree with Jez. I thought the presentation was just too dry. They did. It was a TED talk. I still say if you sent Mark Cerny to Jerusalem to negotiate between the Palestinians and the Jews, he would talk them to sleep. They wouldn't even want to fight no more. But I liked it in the sense that the confirmation that I wanted, that I needed to know was would PlayStation 5 do some backwards compatibility? We can check that off. It does. Would some games get a boost? I know Foxy's been talking about that it would, but now it's been confirmed by the man himself. The thing has it's been confirmed RDNA2 once again. You got people online saying it's RDNA2 light. It's crazy what's going on. But the three things and the full catalog, if you want it, the garlic mashed potatoes with the people who want backwards compatibility, you're going to be able to get it. Now, for me personally, I know they're going to have the top 100 play PS4 games. That's not good enough for me. I need to be able to play Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 on the PS5. Or, like I said yesterday, if Xbox releases a Lockhart, I'll buy the Lockhart out of spite, because I should be able to play those 3 games on the PS5. But the confirmation I got it. We got the confirmation of the hashtag fact hype. The speed is, I did talk to some computer guys today, because they watched it too, and they were overwhelmed by the SSD. They just literally said it's not about this year or next year. He said it's about 2 years down the line that they can the way they'll be able to get their information into the games and stuff like that. And the developers' reaction has totally blown the doors off of a lot of these people in the other community. They're very upset over what the developers are saying. They're upset about what something called an influencer is. I mean, I'm grown, so nobody can influence me. But if something called an influencer, they're intrigued by it. Zaddy himself said that you might get some bottlenecks NX Gamer, somebody on YouTube that I respect, he did a breakdown of it. You'll check out his video. He said you could probably, that there could be some bottlenecks. So again, I'm going to say now you're going to more than likely have some bottlenecks, but at the end of the day, a dry conference, I think Jez is right. Know your audience, #know the audience. And but overall, we got confirmation on backwards compatibility, boost mode for some older titles if you want to play them, and just the overwhelming speed of this thing is faster than any SSD you can go buy. Apparently, in the PC realm, the PC community is pissed. I mean, we don't think about it; they're pissed. So that's with that. I'll rest.
But Craig, what's interesting is that these devs coming out about those SSDs. And just talking about the design of the PlayStation 5 of the structure of it, it's not like it's a video package deal. It's like a video package that they're going to show at a presentation. These guys are just coming out on Twitter and just talking about, and etc., just kind of speaking about how this thing is going to work and how impressed they are with it. Which it's not like it's sort of like, when they revealed the X and they had a bunch of heads there going, the uncompromised, this like a bunch of people just going, I'm so excited, this is great.
Dramatic music flaring in the background.
Yeah, dramatic music playing, crying, doing like double zoom ins of a guy's face. Like this wasn't a package deal. These people coming on Twitter and giving their honest developer take on it, which I think holds a lot of value. To
me, that can't be bought. I mean,
it can't be bought. Yeah,
that tells me as a gamer, if the people who are actually going to be working on the kit are excited, then that means I heard, people were tweeting saying, well, the developers won't spend that much time doing that. I'm like, not according to them. Not according to them. They love this thing. Now, who knows? But and then but I agree with you. Yeah, the fact that they're excited made me more excited. But I'd rather talk about MLB The Show and Neo 2 and Resident Evil 3 running like straight up dog shit on the Xbox X. I mean, it runs like trash.
Not optimized, I was told.
Well, it may not be. I mean, it's a
just remember, you can always use spec sheets.
It shouldn't matter. With that power differential, with that X, and you paid for a premium product and a premium experience, I don't give a crap if it's a demo or if it's a full game. That should not happen. And don't tell me it's not optimized, okay?
Not Ori. Well, let's throw Resident Evil 3 out. What about Ori? That's running like trash too. So it's you're looking at brute forcing, guys. That's what brute forcing does. It's the equivalent of you having a 12-ounce glass ice cold ready for a beer, and somebody tries to put 40 ounces in there. You're gonna have all this bleed over. It's like, man, this is alcohol abuse. What are you doing here?
Exactly.
So, but I'm not even gonna get Resident Evil 3. I mean, I don't want it, but I'll play the demo, especially because it's pretty much running according to WCC Tech. Not me.
Yeah, Salty is gaming. Shout out to him. Man. He actually had a whole lot of issues with his Ori.
I was reading his tweets.
Yeah, he had to like his game was freezing. He was putting out full footage of it, so that was weird too for that game.
That shouldn't happen like that. If it has that much power, it shouldn't happen. That's the thing. Like it should.
I mean, the CPUs and the current gen systems have been.
It's running solid 60 on the plate. You want to know why? Is because they're pushing. They are trying to push. They're brute forcing 4K resolution for. I don't know what. If Phil Spencer just went over there and just put I want 4K on my box. I got 4K on my chip. I want 4K in my games.
Pretty visuals.
Because they're just pushing 4K.
Yeah, it was all about
running
pretty
like crap.
Yeah, it was all about the pretty visuals they wanted to really push.
I don't know. It was all about the resolution for him, and it sacrifices the frame rates. It's been that case for a lot of Xbox One X games where they push this higher resolution, but it's the performance suffers, and the Pro is the better balanced system to play the game on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel the same way. Yeah.
It's been happening too much.
Yeah. Fox, let me come to you about after this conference now that this conference is over. What you got? What's your thoughts on it? Leaving the conference.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, cool. Look, that was not for the general public. Sony did the same thing with the PS4 leading up to the road to the PS4's launch, and nobody was crowing about that because only the most hardcore of the most hardcore even knew Sony were doing the talk back then. The only reason why people were so tuned into this one is because we've been waiting so damn long for some official news from out of Sony. Is that everybody paid attention to this. But to be honest, it wasn't for everybody. That was the problem. It was for developers. Mark Cerny was speaking in his calm, dulcet, confident tone, slightly passive aggressive, as Mark Cerny usually is. He even said he felt bullish about ray tracing. But yeah, it was for developers, it's pure and simple. So this is not the actual PS5 reveal. This was just talking about the architecture. The reveal is yet to come. They said more is to come in the next couple of months. I take that to mean June, July.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of back compat, I've put up with a lot of nonsense about this all day. I mean, I made a video earlier on saying that, you know, I know Mark Cerny kind of, the way he delivered that part of the
It didn't come out right.
presentation, it sounded a little confusing, but not confusing to me, because if you've got half a brain, what he said to everybody who paid attention is that they're testing 100 PS4 games at this present time, right? To run at higher frequencies on PS5. That means to take advantage of PS5 clock speeds. That means higher frame rates. Improved resolution, whatever they want to add to it, whatever they want to, you know, put ray tracing on certain games. You know, but certainly certain games are going to run at 60 now when they were running at 30 on PS4. Guaranteed.
And remember, not to interrupt you, Fox, remember, I was desperate to get confirmation on if they can jailbreak some of these CPUs and get games that were 30 to 60 or something that's checkerboarded to native. So I mean, again, I'm waiting on more information because again, I got what I needed. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Fox. Go ahead, brother.
Right. So, and you know, that's just 100 games they've so far tested. That means they are up and running and working, and they are continually testing thousands. Their wording, not mine. Thousands of PS4 games to offer improvements, enhancements. I don't believe for 1 minute that every single one of 4,000 plus PS4 games are all going to receive PS5 level enhancements. No, I don't believe that 1 minute, and I don't think Sony are actually saying that, but I do believe there'll be hundreds at least.
It's mostly first party I can see really going all out and pushing that for sure. Like, for example, Spider-Man, maybe to speed up the web swinging, give you more fluidity in the world and then going through.
Yeah, but let's be honest, though. The only people that really care a hell of a lot about back compat when a next-gen system comes out, right, are those people who are just curious about the enhancements that the new machine gives to those old titles. They're probably just throwing loads of discs, look at them, so that looks beautiful. That looks so much better than on the original console. And then they'll go back to the next-gen games, right? If not that, a lot of people will just turn to back compat because there's droughts. There are software droughts. You saw it with the Xbox One.
Yeah, you're going to have
look
that.
How many of those
PS5.
back compat games went back in the charts purely because Microsoft were either releasing poor imitations of last gen games, in other words, sequels that didn't even live up to the 360 version, right? Let's be honest. Halo 5 did not live up to a majority of those Xbox 360 games, right? Let's be honest. Okay, so people were turning to games like Black Ops 2 and re-entering the charts and things like, and Red Dead Redemption because there were no other games to play. It's just, what else are they to do? So that's why those people really care about back compat. I mean, I love back compat. I'm not downplaying it, but to be honest, if only 100 games launched with the PS5 back compat PS4, I'd be disappointed, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. I'd be playing next gen games anyway.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
To go back to the conference for a second here. So Austin Evans made a good point. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't catch on to what he said when he did his little breakdown of it too. So when Mark Cerny was talking about the SSD and how fast it was, et cetera, and how we can actually, upgrade it and put our own versions in there, I honestly don't think we're going to be buying like something from Samsung, like the ones you see right now. Nah, this one has to be proprietary at this particular point. The SSDs that Mark Cerny is talking about, especially for this M2 drive, it's specially made. So this actually has to come strictly from Sony. This is going to have to be a proprietary one. It's very similar to what Microsoft's doing with theirs. It's got to happen. Microsoft went with a memory card style of design for their M2 drives, and Sony's going with just a traditional M2. And I honestly do believe that that's more than likely going to be the case, since again we don't have nothing. And remember, if you guys pay close attention, a good chunk of these M2 drives on PCs, especially the higher rated ones, have heat sinks on it. Mark Cerny was very specific when he said that heat sink enabled or heatsink supporting M2 drives more than likely would not work for this, and that's why they have to test. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have proprietary from them. And the question is, again, this is going to be the issue for both of them, at least in my personal opinion. How much are these M2 drives going to actually cost in the long run?
Well, we don't know. There's no way of knowing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's where the issue. Because remember, everybody would like to have that bigger storage. You're always going to
what does the M2 do to the M1? What does the M2?
The M2 are the M2 ones are the new fast ones from Samsung. They're having a very theirs is going to be custom. Theirs is different. Obviously, they tricked theirs out to do more so than what is available on the market. The M.2. These are more like little. They look like little. How do I explain them? They look like RAM. They look like RAM that they plug into the board.
Old school RAM, like because they're a little longer than the short RAM.
Yeah, I've seen
M2 drives.
You probably have one on your board. You probably have support on your board, but you don't even know what the hell it is.
SSDs.
Let me just add something to that back compat for a sec.
Yeah.
In the video I made earlier, that was before Sony updated their PlayStation blog. Yeah. So my video obviously came before that. So I didn't even know about the thousands of titles that they're hoping to enhance as well. I just assumed from what Mark Cerny said that the 100 is what they have enhanced.
It was confusing what he said, and
exactly.
They clarified it today. I saw they updated the article.
Exactly.
Today.
Yeah, that was like the main criticism, aside from obviously them talking about SSDs, that a lot of people had. Oh yeah, dim.2. My bad, but yeah, that's what.
Can I just finish though? Let me just finish what I'm going to say. People came at me saying, "Oh, why are you lying? You're lying. You're that, you're this, you're that, you're a liar, stop lying, oh, you've got no credibility, they did not announce PS4, and then one of my followers, who I'm so grateful to, gave me the heads up about the updated thing, and I thought, oh, look at this, and then I just started retweeting it, and L's everywhere.
Well, no, it's like I was talking to Enrique. Shout out to the Brat podcast, but we're more likely going to have to talk about that on another show. But it seems like a lot of people want them to fail.
Who?
A lot of people want Sony to fail. It seems like.
Well, it's like they're like Floyd Mayweather.
They want that
Jr.,
2013 that Microsoft had.
Yeah, they really want that
window.
They really want that.
They're like Floyd Mayweather Jr. Like he keeps winning and people get bored, so they want to see a new champion. That's what it is.
That's really what it is. But overall, I mean, Microsoft's done great. I think we can all agree in unison. Microsoft's done great with marketing and how they've put themselves with the Series X. So we know more about Series X than we've known really any next gen console right now. And Sony's just now showing you what's underneath the hood of theirs. So again, we're waiting for the form factor, what it looks like, and of course, we're still going to be waiting since they did not confirm any particular day. But overall, the actual conference itself.
Sony's been more of a case of tell more than show at the moment. There's a lot of telling, but no showing.
What I want to say though about this though, And this was the biggest thing I took away from this conference. There were countless developers coming out and really supporting this thing, saying that what Sony's doing is going to enable bigger worlds. Everything is just seeming perfect pretty much at this point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but that's
faster.
all a lie, isn't it? It's
developer bias. It's media bias. So
Developer bias.
when I saw
lazy
that,
devs,
when I saw
yeah.
people actually
You know what made me
tagging
laugh?
and saying that, I was like, guys, I think you guys need to relax, because again,
You know what made me laugh the most, Ryan? People
What's
were
that?
saying to me, people were coming at me saying, oh, they would say that. They're working on PlayStation hardware. Well, obviously, how would they know if they're not working on it? Idiots.
Yeah, I agree with Jez here. Jez made a good point. I'm doing my podcast tomorrow where I'm just going to take the L on. They care more about multiplayer games than anything, and they should, because they don't have any exclusives on that console. So they have to have the most powerful, because they still believe it's like. And shout out to Jay Fonz. That's my man, 50 grand. He said that games are going to look better on the Series X. I said, and literally, he is literally saying that it's going to be more 4K on that console. It's like, no, it's just like there's nowhere else for you to drive this car.
Shout out to let me get this out the way too, because he asked me this question, and that's why I'm happy to answer that. So obviously we answered that early. I don't know if he was in here early, but Jack Emmett. So yeah, you asked me about the backers and Pat. It was confirmed. Everything will work on PS4 or PS5, except for obviously PS3 1 and 2, which PS3 1 and 2, I kind of figured that was kind of pushing the envelope, and that was more likely going to be on just PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now has gotten a lot better for them, but at the same time,
Well, if you look at the slides, underneath the slides when they were talking about back and Pat, there was plenty of space to add more Sony console logos, but they were blank.
So you think they'll add on maybe?
I think you won't get the whole catalog. I think they'll roll out select titles.
I mean, it's possible. We saw
especially with the failure of the Sony small retro console. Like, they're trying to make an attempt back. There was a demand for it, but it just didn't sell because that thing was very poorly emulated. So, like, I think, and they've been trying to bring some PlayStation 2 games up res and stuff like that to the PlayStation 4. But it just seems like they wanted to get as much stuff on the PlayStation 4 as possible, so that
exactly
PlayStation 5.
Jez,
Yeah,
I told everybody it's efficiency versus brute force, and
we're seeing it right now.
PS5 has been designed to limit bottlenecks, whereas Xbox Series X is a beefed up PC that is going to suffer bottlenecks because they cannot take full advantage of that 12.1 T-flop GPU because there will be bottlenecks elsewhere. But people don't get it. They think just because it's got a more powerful GPU that it automatically, one number is higher than the other, without looking at the nuance of next-gen custom silicon.
sure.
Complete and utter morons.
Yeah, but you want to know what's interesting is, like, I could see the naivete of these people where we haven't just lived it for the last 3 years. Leading up to the X and the Pro, I think this is just the X and the Pro remastered. That's how I'm looking at it. Phil Spencer's doing the same rollout he did with the X. Digital Foundry did their whole hokey dokey show and pulled it open. And
you talking about Zaddy?
That's what Zaddy is. I was supposed to be Zaddy. Tweet about it.
That was very telling.
I don't know who he's referring to. I was like,
that's Zaddy now.
That was very telling, though. That video, it's very, very telling.
But it's the same. It's the same hokey dokey stuff they did with the X. Like, it's smart, it's good, but it's the same thing. But, like, we just went through this, and look at, I know the demo Resident Evil, but that's the freshest in your mind. Look at what happened. You're pushing 4K, brute forcing it, the frame rate's dropping. You're getting PlayStation 4 performance and frame rate on a $500 a premium product that the PlayStation 4 Pro base is giving you 50 frames per second. Meanwhile, the PlayStation 4 Pro is giving you the 60 frames per second locked, and Xbox is all over the place.
For cheaper.
And
people think if your console costs more, then therefore it must be more powerful. But hold on, didn't the Xbox One cost $100 more than the PS4 Pro? PS4.
I've heard a lot of shit. Let me tell you, I heard a lot of shit, especially this morning, dude, saying that Phil has changed the game. It's over.
My god, the vindication about this whole terrifying. I felt ashamed as a disgruntled Xbox fan. I was just like, wait a second. We all bought Xbox Ones And we knew it was less powerful with the RAM from the PlayStation 4. And we think that Xbox One failed because of a resolution gate. There were so many issues. There was features, there was Connect, there was so many things that went on.
The disrespect for the consumer in general.
Yeah, the disrespect for the consumer in general. The fact is like they didn't have headphones. They could plug them in the controller. You had to wait for the dongle.
Yeah, that was a nightmare too. Yeah, they did a lot. Exactly.
They made us wait months and months. Sometimes a whole year went by without a AAA game.
They did a
lot.
At first they had some games though. Like they had some games at first. They started really well with some games.
They started better than Sony, arguably.
They did.
Yeah.
But see what Sony did, which was smart, and this is the problem that I have now with them, is that Sony used indie developers. They used time deals or Destiny deals. They kind of filled in the gaps while their games and the bangers were being made in the background. Where Microsoft said, hey, halfway through, they're like, we stopped making games. Let's buy some Hokey Doke Studios, and we're just going to tell everybody to wait while we shove more hardware up their ass. Like, it doesn't work that way. You got to support your product if you're still selling it. Like,
I'm
you
still
cannot
looking
just
forward
stop
to it,
making
though.
games.
I still want the Xbox Series X. As obviously, the PS5 is a no-brainer, but I want that Xbox Series X as well, because they're both going to have features. Like I said this ages ago on many podcasts, they're both going to outdo each other in different areas, but one is going to be better at certain things and the other will be better at certain things.
Yeah. What was the vindication of that whole, after the whole teraflop thing was shown, the whole Digital Foundry video, just the tone. You would think what you saw on the slides, everybody would be like, oh, Series X is a monster, it destroys, and then everybody's like, yo, Sony's changing the game with this could be great, blah, blah.
Saying it destroys 2080. They saying it's destroying the 2080 Super or something on the PC.
Yeah, they're moist as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, even I know that. Look, I don't like NVIDIA
2080 Super.
No.
I said this early this morning on my good friend Boom's podcast. I said this to him. I was like, listen, I'm a man of results, right? I will believe that when I see it, just like I will believe this whole, you guys are claiming that, Phil has won everybody over, they have destroyed PlayStation. I will believe it when I see it with the game. And the only way you can do that is with games. I need to see those games. And I said that with him. And King David, shout out to those guys. But again, I got to see it. I got to see this stuff. Because right now, this on paper.
PS2. Do you remember PS2, Ryan?
Yeah.
What about the OG Xbox One? That was
Xbox One was stronger.
It was more powerful than the PlayStation.
It was more powerful than that. Yeah.
That was the biggest performance gap any console generation has seen. The OG Xbox One,
first console to have hard drives, all that.
Still, the PS2 slapped it all over the world, smashed it.
Yep, games, quality library.
That was a huge thing. Yeah, they didn't get games day and date. I remember getting GTA like later. Because it came to PlayStation first, and then
remember the Warriors? Remember the Warriors?
The Warriors.
That didn't drop to like a year later.
That's why I like RAM, twice the GPU power,
and that was the reason
almost everything.
Yeah.
The 360 was the 360 made a huge deal about getting GTA 4 day and date as Sony. That was a big deal for Xbox.
Yep.
I remember going crazy. I was like, wow, we're getting GTA day and date. Like,
because
I'm happy though. Like on some real talk,
Final Fantasy 11 or Final Fantasy, what was it? Not Final Fantasy 11. Or Final Fantasy 10? Not 10.
Yeah.
It was 12. It was the one with the girl. Which one was it?
13.
13. That was a huge announcement. I remember that was like the one more thing at their E3. Those were big deals to get the same stuff that Sony got day and date.
You know why? Because whatever Sony makes hot, Microsoft won it. Because it was actually Sony that made the Grand Theft Auto series hot. It was already on the PC.
Oh, it was on PlayStation 2. That was the whole reason.
It was already, you know what I mean? But because of Sony systems, when it went to 3D, it actually made Grand Theft Auto the #1 game in the world, to be honest. And obviously at 360, when Peter Moore lifted up his sleeve and showed you the tattoo and the date of Grand Theft Auto 4, I remember it well. Like it happened.
Yep. And they got
you know what I love? I love
that's because they know Sony made it hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you this right here. This made my week. Dudes was championing, Microsoft's Playground Games. New remember I know you saw it, the concept art for their new game. It looks like The Last of Us 2, but like with mixed with I Am Legend with a dog and all that. Dude's your champion. That's it. Now, if I remember correctly, the person who was champion was funny. I saw he was like, Sony just makes cinematic third person shooters and all this. So I'm like,
I think Big Cloud, they're gonna say that.
No, he's like Sony does this, but I'm like, okay, yeah. Let me
I had a guy tell me that.
Yeah, let me finish. But they're like, okay, it does this, but that's what you guys get on PlayStation. He's like, Sony never gives me a reason to buy a PlayStation, but it's like, if that's the case, why are we championing this? It's like, and again,
while they're talking, people are getting platinum trophies. So let them carry on.
It's like, so it's funny to me. But I want to talk though. I'm happy. Specs are out. Everybody got what they supposedly wanted. And again, it's going to put more pressure on Microsoft at this point. Now, Microsoft has this power advantage. Jez, you already know where I'm about to go with this. There's no excuses for any games to be mediocre. No excuses for any game to be anything. Sony knows they got to do. And what this really does, you guys think about it in the chat, and this is not a damage show, this is common sense. If this is true and everything where they're like extremely behind, which I highly doubt they're extremely behind, but they're extremely behind, like a lot of people are trying to use quotations on, this puts pressure on Sony to do what, guys, in the chat? I tell you what, drop even more bangers, and this is where it's going to come down to.
Yeah, but we all know, look, history repeats itself. We all know it doesn't matter how much power Microsoft has. They don't have development studios at the highest quality as, Sony does. I'm sorry, you can call me a fanboy if you want to, but the evidence is out there.
Watch somebody say 15, throw it in your face, 15. Shout out to Carlos Crispin, $2 super chat. This NX Gamer says the power gap is only 16%.
12 to 15, it's no gap at all. I mean, his video, and shout out to him because he got me through that video. I mean, he had like a 22-minute video.
I did watch it.
It really helped. It helped me out a lot as far as just the bare facts on what we saw. But the fact that the developers, the fact that the developers have come out and literally these guys are just going crazy because the developers are like, nah, this is the better stuff over here. We're sorry, but this is, and they're just going crazy. And it's just like, I'm going to talk about MLB The Show and hitting this curveball and Neo 2. You all can fight all you want to. Just buttery as hell.
I'm already on Neo 2. I'm enjoying that. Yeah, Doom Eternal dropped.
And the thing is with these consoles and what we're seeing with this generation and what we always see is that the feature set and the capabilities of the machine that usually get used the most is the console that sells the most, that has the most developer mind share. So and it's going to be optimized for that one. That's why the Xbox 360 had games that ran well in the cell. Nobody really wanted to spend that extra time to get that stuff going on the cell processor with the PlayStation 3. The lead console for development was the Xbox 360. That switched this generation with the PlayStation 4 being the lead console, and that's the problem that Microsoft always has, is that they have all this stuff, but the developers are not going to take their time. Maybe some will, but a lot of them are not going to take extra time to try to optimize or use that extra 16%. They're going to just make the game, make sure it runs on the console that is in the market the most, the most popular console, and then they will make sure that it works on the other one. And if it gets some benefits like a higher resolution, just jack up the resolution and ship it. And that's what you see with a lot of these games, especially what we've seen with the X and the Pro. These games are and you know how this works. You could even see it in the Outer Worlds. Remember all the grass that had to get patched in after Phil Spencer? I call them the lawnmower man, because on the Xbox there was no trees and grass. On the Xbox,
I do remember that they had a more refined grass. I do remember that.
Phil Spencer had to run around grass seed.
That's funny.
Why is that? Because Outer Worlds was probably made with the PlayStation in mind as the lead console development, lead platform. And Phil Spencer had to throw his grass seed out like that, and then they patched it in the trees and stuff. But he went out
with poor green thumb on. I was like, green, where's my grass? We called him
the Axe Man, Phil Spencer. I call him the Lawnmower Man because he has no grass in his game. going on?
Fool for that.
What they gonna do? So grassy.
That's,
You
the
threw some
grass
terraform
seeds.
seeds around there, grow some grass. But it's like they go, and that's why when I see people saying this about the SSD and the capabilities of the PlayStation 4,
like, I'm hyped for it. I really want to see what this is. Yeah,
If it sells, the mind share of the developers, it will be utilized by. I think there's more games that utilize the speaker and the PlayStation 4 controller than actually use Kinect. You know what I mean? Like the thing is like they use the features of the lead console for development.
That's what they do. You're right. And Jez, normally you find at the beginning of generations, different developers hedge their bets on each console. Like some will gravitate towards Microsoft, some Sony early on, but then when they see the sales, who's got the highest sales, then you find them all going to the machine with the highest sales.
Yeah. You know what's getting real petty though? This shows how petty console wars are in general. I mean, I remember dudes was complaining about the size of the storage now, for God's sakes. We're like, oh, so Microsoft's giving me a terabyte, Sony's giving me 825. It's like, well, again,
to a point,
it's like I get it. Trust me, I get it. But here's the thing though, games in general gonna be big, and I really got to see those solutions with these proprietary for sure, but.
What about people that were trying to lead others to believe that the CPU of the PS5 had 8 cores but no SMTs like Microsoft's?
Well, that's not really an
RDNA, and it's not really RDNA 2. Just because it doesn't have variable rate shading in Microsoft's form, it has its own.
Yeah, they said it was the geometry something.
Ryan, Microsoft has the patent on variable rate shading, the name and whatever, right? Sony have their own. They call it something else. They just haven't spoken about geometry. It yet. They haven't spoken about it yet. It's got all of that stuff. They just haven't spoken yet.
Yeah, well, the version of like like that's the thing. Like people assume since he didn't say be all and end all everything in his thing that. It just doesn't have it.
You know what? He focused on SSD the most. He focused on SSD.
Yeah, he really urged that.
And audio and SSD.
And the audio stuff.
I really got to see their headsets. Awesome. I really want to see their headsets going forward too. This whole audio, the way he's talking about this audio, their headsets are probably going to be on some other level. But I got to really see what's up with this, because that combined with haptic trigger feedback, like let's say you're playing a horror game, you got some good, bass for like the footsteps and the creakiness and all that stuff. I'm telling you that stuff can be very, very immersive if it's done perfectly correct in general. So they got a lot of opportunities there. Perfect Image. He says, did Sony buy Kojima? If yes, Sony won. Unfortunately, we got no details on that, but we obviously are going to get whatever we get going forward. As far as the
hold on. I thought Hip Hop Gamer confirmed that and the Legacy engine back compat. So we do have something on.
No.
Didn't he?
He did say Kojima.
They're buying Kojima.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, geometry engine. That was it. But
no, I'm not taking the piss. This happened, right? I'm not making it up, am I?
Oh yeah, no. I was just talking about that.
Okay, so we do have something on it. We're just waiting for that.
Yeah, we're for confirmation. But I mean this. I'm saying we got nothing from Sony confirming. That's what I was saying. Like nothing from legit Sony confirming that they bought.
Well, Hip Hop Gamer seems very confident about Legacy back compat.
Yeah,
and he seems very confident about Kojima. And it's funny how after he said about Kojima, we started getting rumors about Silent Hill and talking to Konami and buying up, IP from Konami. So you can't really discredit the guy because
I didn't discredit. I'm just saying,
No, not you. No, I'm not talking about you, man. I'm talking about people in general. Yeah. I'm not pointing at you. People in general, like they're quick to discredit others, like call him out. But it's funny though, isn't it? Like he said it a month ago, roughly. Yeah. And then we started hearing rumors about. Now, none of it might even come to fruition, but it's just that's more than a coincidence, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he'd have to be extremely lucky to make up a story about Kojima being purchased or even linked to Sony, and then miraculously the universe is on his side and says, "Oh, let me put this out there," and there's a rumor about all these IPs. You know what I mean? So let's them away wait and see. I don't think Sony's shown everything. I think they'll be like just said, they're tiptoeing. They're being very tiptoey. They're tiptoeing.
Yeah.
You know, when they're ready to drop it, they're gonna drop it like it's hot, baby.
Yeah. Why? Like, why would you? Like, I understand. Like, I have been saying this example. Like, if for Microsoft, if Halo was coming out in the springtime, like, I don't think they'll be pushing the X as much as they would. Like, I think they would hold back a little bit. Like, you got the biggest game of the generation, possibly, The Last of Us 2, the biggest hype for it. Why would and associate it with a console that's not available yet? Like, you wanted that thing to tie and sell even more units. Why? You done at 108, like 109? We'll close it up. No, man, keep selling more consoles. There's more potential customers. Get them out.
Yeah, this console's about to hit 120.
Cheaper.
Well, Jazz,
coming in $100 cheaper, eh? The PS5 would be cheaper.
Drop the price and sell more of them. Shit, get them out there.
And Jazz,
I think it cost Sony $450 to produce them.
Over. They want this generation.
I do all that. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, that's all. Phil he just likes selling hardware to people, like, and tell them games are coming.
No, he said that he don't care.
He don't care. That's the other thing.
Phil Spencer said it doesn't matter how many Xboxes we sell.
They don't care.
That's what he said.
That's what I'm saying. They'll price the thing at $600 and go on vacation. He don't care.
Well, I love too, though. Again,
you know what? That's why. You know what? You're onto something. That is why there's this 2-year crossover of games available on all platforms, because they know they're going to release at such a high price that not everybody can jump in day one. So they're giving them that 2 years to still get games, but save money so they can afford the Xbox Series X when they're ready to upgrade, because they know they can't afford to put that system out with those specs, that brute force power. For what? Anything less than, I'd say, 550, 600. Whereas Sony, they can come in at like 449. Like, that would be a reasonable number for Sony. But if they can manage 399 USD, like some people think they can, well, that would be a killer blow to Microsoft.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, everybody is so excited about the big power. The thing is that ever since the X, you're paying extra for that incremental or whatever that power differential is. And it's up to Microsoft to show you that difference. And they really haven't done a great job of showing the difference of why the X was $200 more than the S. They rarely did it. We had to wait for Digital Foundry to do it. And to have now the next generation where if this console, their console is going to be more expensive than the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the thing is now you're putting a price to the power, and the company is not really. Yeah. Whereas when this generation started, first of all, the one was more $100 more, then came down to $400, but then both of them were $400. But the PlayStation 4 was edging out
$299 to Saturn's $399, and PS1 was more capable than Saturn.
Yeah, like the PlayStation 4 was edging out the Xbox at the same price, like in the same, and you got that a little bit of better power and resolution, which was easy to see and easy to define. But now you're putting $100 price tag, and it was a $200 price tag on their base consoles.
Wow!
Now you got to put your money where your mouth is.
If they launch at $399, I don't care. It's over for Microsoft. You know why?
And that's the thing.
Because
people are
trying
to discourage that.
Sony, even if they match Sony, they're gonna lose a ton of money on each unit.
Yeah, I know they can't. That's why that Lockhart rumor is still viable. Everybody's talking about this Lockhart, but you know what? Nobody's gonna buy a $400, like a $400. Like, I think the Lockhart's gonna be the same price as the PlayStation 5, which will kill both of them. That would be
only 4 T-flops.
I'll buy it. Yeah. I'm buying it. If they don't put
massive, but you already own a 4 T-flop machine, man.
You know, I think people are putting a lot. This is where I think they're putting a lot of stock to in this Lockhart thing too, because a lot of people are trying to push Lockhart now. Like, oh, Lockhart's going to undercut. It's like, how do I put this? If Sony can match what Microsoft's doing or get as close as possible and sell this at $400, there won't be no matching anything.
Yeah. You'll be over.
It really would be over, and that's what a lot of people are missing. Like, you know, they're
Sony will put this at $5.
I think Sony are ballsy enough to do that. Even if they lose money, they'll make it up in PlayStation subscriptions, because they got the biggest. PlayStation Network is bigger.
Sony has to sell the consoles. Microsoft really doesn't have to sell the consoles. They're trying to build a world without the need for a console.
Right.
Sony the console is essential to their business and essential to their ecosystems, and they're going to dab in other ecosystems to lure people in. But Microsoft really could just be console agnostic at this point right now with their full commitment day and date to PC gaming and cloud. Like they could be like, "Poop, the only reason why they're keeping these consoles around is to get the suckers to still pay for Xbox Live because they're the only fools that are paying for it. Well, it's free.
Well,
I get access to everything.
Let's be honest. It's those who pay for the console version of Xbox Live who are subsidizing the PC experience because they're getting it for free.
I got it for free. Man, as soon as he said it's free and it's full featured Xbox Live, I was like, thanks, Phil. I'm going to PC.
You know what? That's the equivalent of
that's
the equivalent of you driving in your personal vehicle and random people off the road just get in and hop on for a ride for free. With or without your permission.
I'm not no sucker. Mama didn't raise no fool. Somebody tells me it's free somewhere else, I buy everything. So the thing is I need my money.
It should be free.
Lucrative.
It should be free for everybody. If you're gonna give it to people, you should make it free for Xbox gamers. I
was like, wait, I don't have to pay for that, but I get another $60 in my pocket. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. And all the stuff you could do with a PC because it's not just for gaming, photo editing and all that other stuff. But you get the benefit of playing all their games in better fidelity. I bought it as a way, the PC stuff, because I don't want to get into the VR thing that Phil Spencer screwed me on because I bought like a Vive thinking that Xbox X was going to support it because they were selling it at the Microsoft store. So I
high fidelity VR was big important.
Oh, don't even get me started with that Phil Ness, that son of a bitch. He cost me so much money.
It would take full advantage of high fidelity VR.
Well, let me ask you, how about if you would have bought the VR? So if you bought the X, how much would you have paid grand total?
Oh, well, I got the Vive at $800 because the Microsoft store was selling it the same time that Phil Spencer was yapping his friggin' mouth about the X gonna do high fidelity VR. I get an email from the Microsoft store saying, come buy Oculus, come buy the Vive. I'm like, oh man, it all fits together. The stars are aligning. He's saying VR. They're selling VR at the store. It makes sense, right? They have demos, so I did it.
Fast forward, you fast forward 2 years later. Well, VR is not important.
It's not ready. I'm like, dude, son of a bitch.
Well, you got some moist people out there who were saying that because I'm like, yeah, all together, this thing's gonna cost like $800 and you get this VR and you get the X, and but they're moist as hell. But to your earlier point, I was trying to get in there. I agree with you. Why are they going to show Sony the PS5 form factors and all this kind of stuff when they still have major IP, coming out, and there's a group of people in the Xbox community. They want this generation just to be over. They want it over. They don't want to talk. Wait till, if they think it's crazy now, wait till Battletoads comes out.
Lord.
Wait till Grounded comes out, and so it's just
nobody wants to wait for those games. Bleeding Edge comes out next week. Anybody talking about it?
Gums. Yeah, I don't hear nobody talking about it.
Bleeding out, I call it.
Yeah, bleeding out. Gum. So and look, I would talk about specs too. If
I've seen people damage for that game. It's not pretty.
It's gonna be straight garbage of that shit coming out next week. So just trash. But we'll see. I'm gonna love it.
Shout out to Vezir for the 119 SCK.
We don't have a release date for
PS5. Hold on, let me get to this for a second. Shout out to Vezir for the 119 SCK. Super chat, he said PS5 won't come with new headset. It will come with a speaker helmet with 6 speakers with mechanics, which will measure your head circumference and PlayStation camera for each ear. Great show, guys. PS5 day one.
Okay, well, that's great. And another thing Cerny talked about that we didn't really touch on was how he took a dump all over Dolby Atmos. And this, he's like, yeah, that ain't that ain't the way that
people are talking about the stuff now. I mean, again, it was boring to the vast majority of the public, right? It's funny. A lot of people talk specs, but they're like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah, because what he said about the 3D audio was like similar to what they used with that box for the PlayStation VR. How it takes regular headphones and it simulates, because that's one of the big things with the external box that it has for VR is that it processes 3D audio. And I tell you, it sounds really good on the VR, like with regular headsets with the PSVR. And also, I have the Platinums, and using those with certain games that use the 3D audio, it definitely, whatever limited games have it, but it is pretty awesome. Like, it doesn't sound very airy. Like, it sounds really kind of, the height and the surroundings. That's the whole thing. It's this 360 kind of around your skull thing. It's not just like in one dimension. It's like over your head, coming behind you.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that type of like again, especially again, like when we get the full demo and test this stuff out? But could you imagine that type of stuff for like a game like Predators?
A Predator? Oh my God!
Like
awesome.
Full immersive 3D sound around.
Yo,
like
what about even Spider-Man swinging through the city?
I'm telling you,
the people below you as you're swinging with the wind like around.
Let's get to that. Actually, let's get to that because that's another.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you immediately knew I was the first one. I was like, I gotta tweet this. Like, wait, what? And this is true. My jaw's gonna drop. So reportedly, it's going around that Spider-Man 2, ladies and gentlemen, Spider-Man 2. Let me actually pull this up. Spider-Man 2. It will launch on the PS5 exclusively, obviously. But guess what? It will be coming out in the summer of 2021. PlayStation 5. Now, they're talking about Venom will be in this game. Carnage will be in this game. And they're saying that now, spoiler alert, I gotta throw this out here. If you haven't played Spider-Man 1, I'm sorry. Don't hate me, but if you beat Spider-Man, you would know that Harry Osborn is in a tank at the end of the game. They're confirming that Harry is indeed Venom starting out, but they also confirmed that Eddie Brock is in the game as well.
Oh man!
So
that'll tie in great with that movie.
That will tie in perfect if this is a new style of telling it, right? Like a crazy, like Harry gets reanimated. That story
was incredible for their game. That Spider-Man story, that was a movie. Like I love that the way they did that Spider-Man story.
And you know what? That is true, T-Rock. I do remember that the Spider-Man movie is around that time. So that's like the perfect time to launch this game. But the fact they got this game already up and running this quick too, though, it's kind of telling as well for the hardware. They're talking about new web swinging mechanics. So you guys like the web swinging in the first one. Expect it to be much more faster and fluid. It's going to be much more, I guess you could say it's going to be a lot. I don't know if they'll do what they did with Spider-Man 2. You remember on PS2 how like they kind of did it with like different moves you can do in the air. Maybe they'll do that. But they'll make it more acrobatic as he swings. But overall, they got my money just off of the pure roster. I know a lot of people were asking, well, Ryan, how many villains could they possibly put in here? I mean, they got Venom and Carnage. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Whoa! Did they confirm that they're gonna have that?
This is going around this thing.
It's all big rumor, but
it's all going. It's all going. It's all going around this.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. But you know what? But I will throw this out here. If this ends up being true, and this actually does happen, I know a lot of people are asking me, and I'm a big Spider-Man fan, what villain could they possibly throw in here to surprise you? It could be a big, massive thing for the actual game. If you watch Spider-Man Far From Home, me and Craig have been speculating this too, but at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, I had this vibe that more than likely you're going to see Kraven the Hunter. I think Kraven the Hunter will make perfect for that game if they threw him in there. Kraven the Hunter.
Think about all those amazing animal models.
I'm telling you, dude. Throw Kraven the Hunter in here, and let me tell you something. People don't understand how awesome Kraven the Hunter is and how badass he is, but that's one of the best villains that Spider-Man has. And if they're putting him in films, I can definitely see him transferring over into video game form. What they did with Mysterio on the big screen, again, I can see Mysterio.
That was good. That was very creative.
I love that. It was creative how they did Mysterio. Very creative how they did Mysterio. And so all this stuff can actually work, So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But let me get your thoughts. Craig, go ahead. Actually, no, Jess, let me go with you because you were talking.
Oh, I'm speechless. I'm like everything you just said. Oh my God, you know Spider-Man's coming, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but we kind of know that.
We kind of know we're getting a sequel just off of what we played and experienced. Exactly. You're getting it, but reports coming out saying 2021. This isn't the first time, by the way. This isn't the first time. This is like the second or third time.
Goes with the movies. They got an Insomniac deal out of the way last year.
Yes.
They already got the assets and stuff. They got man. Why
got the engine? They're ready to roll. They just got to get it going.
They just got this game. You just pump out Spider-Man games like that, amazing games like that.
Oh, no issue. You ain't got no issue for me.
Oh man,
especially when we talk about improving it and adding other stuff. You remember how on Arkham Knight there was double takedowns you can do, multiple takedowns. What if they add that with Miles and Peter?
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
You see, I'm going all off the dome here, guys.
Miles and Peter, holy crap! Like, do some co-op.
Different Spider-Man, different abilities. I'm telling you, bro.
I can't believe how much they put in the first Spider-Man with all those different webs and all that other stuff. Like, it was incredible. And they got it, man. And trust me, Marvel probably wants that money too. So I would sure that this Spider-Man 2 is not going to be a 5-year development. That thing's coming.
Yeah.
So if it comes next year, a year into that PlayStation 5, Jesus, oh my God. I don't even want to. This is what I mean, how it gets you so excited that I would want to buy. I just want to buy console. I just want to buy. This is where I try to, like, never mind. But this is where I try to mean on the other end. It's like, get me excited. This is incredible. Like, I want this is stuff. Grabbing Silent Hills. Let's get some Castlevania. These are the rumors I want to hear, because this makes it fun as a gamer.
And before I get what's up, boy? What's up? And to get even further, Resistance was also now obviously this was from Insomniac. So you see it on their actual Twitter. Insomniac's been showing off a lot of like pictures from Resistance. They've been showing the auger, the bullseye weapon, and they have been saying like, "Hey, you remember this guy?" Showing Nathan Hale and like a Chimera. So I'm wondering if they are teasing that they are working on GT.
Didn't they do that because of the 25th anniversary period that Sony was celebrating? Like, they kept tweeting out.
They did do that. They did do it around that, but at the same time, they still continued afterwards. Remember, it was still happening afterwards.
It would be nice, but because they started tweeting that around the time of the anniversary celebrations, it makes me.
You think it's more of a celebratory thing?
Well, I don't know. That's what you can never tell. I mean, I would absolutely love a reboot of Resistance, like redone, different story, different character. I don't even want Nathan Hale. I don't like him. Someone else.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Well, let me get your thoughts on the Spider-Man thing. Faster you're talking, since you have the floor. Go right out. What's your thoughts?
The rumor that Push Square, our friends over at Push Square.
I ain't got it from Push Square. I got it from
Push Square. Push Square.
PSU. I got mine from PSU.
No pun intended, but Push Square pushed out a whole article based on, some, I don't know if it was Reddit or off somewhere, saying they said baseless, like they like to be salacious and sensational when they're dismissing other people, but when they put their stuff out, they're not to be dismissed. It's like, well, what's the problem? Didn't the guy give you what? Because the guy didn't give you his sources, so you must call it baseless.
I think those are all in caps too.
They're professional though. What's wrong with them? They're not like the average. They're not like me or anyone else with a small YouTube channel. Every now and then we're fishing on Twitter and promoting our videos. Like, they are professional outlet. I'm surprised that they bring themselves down to, it's almost as if they're in the crumb side level sometimes, the way their headlines are. Like, they're very dismissive and they don't have no evidence to say the person's lying. Yeah, be dubious. Yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. Sometimes a bucket load of sodium from the Pacific Ocean. But you can't dismiss someone just because you have nothing to the contrary.
Yeah.
That's websites, I think, just scroll through Twitter and just what I think is hilarious is when they have an article and then they have a screen cap of some like random person on Twitter. I'm like you do your own research, man. Like, go get the sources down and stuff like that. Like, don't just scroll through Twitter and say post. They called me a random.
Yeah,
that was messed up.
That's
do you know what I mean?
That was just harsh.
I've been in this game nearly 6 years, and I'm a random Twitter user.
Dude, it's like they just like their website's based off of like Twitter facts. I'm like, it's
all Square do is take other people's rumors or whatever, make an article out of it, and either they'll say, "Well, we're not sure," or they'll totally dismiss it.
They probably got a quota.
That's how they get their traffic. They bottom feeders, because why are you running the story then? Because you're a bottom feeder. You need that headline because you're bottom feeding. That's why. Don't run the story if you can't find any credibility in it. Don't run it then. Ignore it. It doesn't exist to you because you're a professional. But no, you're a bottom feeder.
Domestic, he said PS5 obliteration. That's no, that's what, PS5 exclusive. He said Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania. Okay, so the Castlevania Metal Gear Solid, we're still waiting for that. But if that is indeed a thing, let me tell you, I don't even have to stress how big of a deal that is. If that is a case with Sony going with PS5,
it would be a big fucking move.
That's a big. That's not even a big fucking move. That's a huge
casino level. That's
move.
Robert De Niro. That's Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
That's all.
That's
That's
huge.
casino level, dude.
That's all of them.
That's huge. Yeah. Let me move on here to the panel. Blaze, you still there, brother? Blaze.
He's in the old country, Sicily.
Craig, what's your thoughts on the whole Spider-Man ordeal?
It's a rumor, so
Call the white zaddy, sir.
Yeah, I mean, until it's confirmed by Marvel, it's going to be like, all right, well, if it's true, fine, but I'll definitely wait on confirmation to see who they're going to have, in the game. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you'll see you'll see Miles Morales and Mary Jane, maybe some type of. I like to see what they're going to do with Stan Lee. Will they have like a picture?
I think they'll probably put him in.
Mary Jane, do you?
Wonder if they put Gwen Stacy in it. Maybe they'll do that.
I think she might come at. That'd be cool to have her in here. Have her be like, just be in the game.
She's with Miles. He's in the comic book. In the Ultimate, I think, universe.
Wait, isn't Gwen Stacy Black Cat?
No, she's the
that's Felicity. That's
Spider Woman.
Felicity.
She's
the
white and pink and outfit.
Yeah, call her Spider Gwen. Yeah, they
Spider Gwen. That's right. Spider Gwen.
One of Madam Web, maybe.
Listen, imagine a Metal Gear Solid 1, and I actually tweeted this out. Imagine a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake on PS5 in the way that they did Resident Evil 2 remake. In other words, it's familiar, but different play mechanics have been added to bring it up to date. Okay, imagine it with full ray trace. That is a prime game for ray tracing because of the, he didn't get to explore because of the limits of the hardware. The environments in Metal Gear Solid 1. He kind of did with PlayStation 2 because he got the rain right. The rain at the beginning when they're walking along the New York, is it the Manhattan Bridge? And it's raining and he's wearing that kind of raincoat. So they kind of got it, and broken glass. But could you imagine what they could do with those games if they brought them up to spec and upgraded them? It would be like the PS2 era all over again. I said that for the PS4, but PS4 got close to the PS2 era. But I truly believe if you can resurrect those PS2 games and remake them, and even PS3 games for the PS5, you are looking at the 90s all over again, only with a whole new pair of goggles on, the future.
That'd be interesting. I know that.
Yeah. Blaze, you back in? Well, yeah, Blaze.
Yo.
All right. What's up, Blaze? What's up,
bro? Honestly, being quarantined and, I didn't
just be safe. You good?
Everything's good, bro. I just been playing Doom all day.
I know you were addicted to it. Let me get your thoughts. We're pretty much at the end here. Let me get your thoughts on this. Obviously, I'm gonna rewind the topics back for you, but I'm gonna go backwards for you. In this particular case, Spider-Man 2 reports 2021 PS5 exclusive. New web swinging mechanics. Venom, Carnage, Eddie Brock.
I did read up on that. Venom, dude, anything Venom, I'm with it. 2021 is really early, though. It's still early.
Not really. It depends when they started. When did Spider-Man come out? What is it, 2018?
2018.
September.
So if it comes out holiday 2021 and they started it and they're using the same engine which has done all that work already.
Same assets and is much faster. Plus they just tweaked it up and add their own thing. Yeah.
Well, not the same assets, but obviously.
Well, we know, obviously same engine. Yeah.
The same engine, but improved.
Yeah, improved.
Scaled up to the next gen, optimized for next gen, so you can include more effects, turn everything all the way up. But if you've already got the groundwork done, it's just a matter of storyboarding, recording. You know what I mean? And creating new assets.
That would be the only time consuming thing I can really think of is just getting
that's
the
3
voice
years.
stuff.
That's 3 years, isn't it? 3 years.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. But that's a big one for Sony if that's it. But you take
But I
you all
reckon
in.
2022, so I'll go with Blaze with the skepticism.
Okay, 2022. What you think about so obviously you already saw the conference with me, Blaze, you, Foxy, and everybody else. We were in the chat. Shout out to everybody who came by. It was awesome. Everybody came through, but so one of the biggest things that a lot of people took away from that conference, Blaze, was the fact that PS5 supposedly wasn't going to support every PS4 title and was only going to support 100. Mark Cerny came out and clarified that PS5 will support every single PS4 title. It's just that when he was talking about 100, Blaze, he was talking about enhanced titles for PlayStation 5, meaning that the PS5 will be PS4 titles will take advantage of the PlayStation 5's frequency. The boost mode that they're in. Right. Basically, because remember the PS5 runs at a boost mode variable, and so that means that the system will fluctuate. Depending
timing.
on the
it's about the timing.
Yeah, it's about timing.
Clocks.
Yeah, it will
timing
do
of
that with the clocks.
Well
just like I did see that, and that's so all those people that jumped out the window early on Twitter. Yeah, how's that cake taste today? Oh, anyway, but what I'm trying to say is the PS4 Pro,
a dry loaf, no butter.
No butter, it's just burnt a little.
No water. You're choking on the last bite.
Trash. So I mean, dude,
so you saying that they had some butter biscuits?
A lot.
They had expired biscuits.
A lot.
Oh, okay, expired.
You know what I mean?
Stale.
But the PS4 Pro don't support. The PS4 Pro has a bunch of boosted titles, but some of them don't. And look, and even when they said it was 100, to me, what sure do I want all the games? Absolutely, but for me, it was the essentials. It was the essential titles. Who's going to put in Madden 16, 17, and 18 because they want to play it.
Right. Yeah, this was more of the greatest hits. So every game that I see in the greatest hits category, like the Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, Bloodborns, game that you really love, and that's Days Gone.
Yeah, Days
I
Gone
can see
awesome.
Days Gone running at 60, no issues, faster.
That's awesome. So
I can see that.
It's all backwards compatible.
Yeah, everything will work. They confirmed all 4,000 games will work, and they will have enhanced titles. How many times have I said this on the channel, Blaze, that PS5 will have enhanced PS4 titles?
Well, you can say it, but we got no confirmation. I mean, you might as well be RDX and make speculative talk. We have confirmation. We have confirmation now, and I speculated about it. I'm like, well, I want to see if they can jailbreak these games at 30 and get them to 60 or get them higher. Maybe
Bloodborne at 60 would be god tier for me personally.
Yeah, I'm just busting your balls.
I know you is, so I'm laughing.
Yeah, Craig. I mean, look, out of all the games, seriously, Bloodborne really needs
it.
Patch. Badly. Not only look, I'm not talking just the performance. It does need a performance boost more than anything, but the shimmering in that game. Go back and play Bloodborne. It shimmers everywhere. It looks like it's shining There's no AA anywhere to be found in that game.
You can feel the frames drop when a ball swings at you, especially the bigger scale ball. With the shaking, you can feel that legit, and it's not the world shaking. That's the game, literally. It's
I don't know how they didn't give that thing a pro patch, but it needs a resolution boost and a performance boost.
I think they gave it an frame rate patch for the pro, but
I don't think they did, dude.
That was supposedly what they gave. It was maybe
you know what? Maybe it felt. I remember actually, but it still drops.
Yeah, it's not. It's far from fixed. That's for sure. It's far from fixed. But that
that's
game
awesome.
Definitely
Wow, that's awesome. See, when you guys look, sometimes it's not good to just jump out the window and just run your mouth because then you end up looking like an asshole.
Oh, dude, yeah, and this
you know what I mean. So that's why you should just wait. Like the speculation is cool, and it's cool to talk and bring up topics. Sometimes you got to just wait for the facts.
Yes, and to go back to the last part about that, what you just said, people jumping to conclusions after the event was said and done. You know what happened? all developers, first party and third party, came out in defense of PlayStation 5, saying that the PlayStation 5 is not only powerful, but the PlayStation 5 is changing the way games are made. They are praising the PlayStation 5 from the SSD and everything in the form fact, like the way things are going with the actual specifications. So a lot of people are really looking forward to see what the console can do. Obviously, the games. We're looking forward to see these games, these comparisons. But from what we're getting from developers, the developers are saying that the PS5 is on another level and is definitely on.
But Ryan,
you
know, when Mark Cerny says, I traveled the world and I went to all these developers, you think he's just talking like that? This is why.
Again, some people say he's just a spokesperson. He just told you what you wanted to hear, but it's like, no.
Look, the guy
Phil says he goes to Japan.
Yeah. He goes to Japan. Yeah, he goes to Japan to get sushi. There's no JRPG. So look, when Mark Cerny, when you ask developers what they need, they love that shit. Developers want you.
That's his second language. He's lived in Japan.
Who? Yeah. Phil?
No,
Mark Cerny.
I was gonna say
pretty much every Sony executive speaks fluent Japanese.
But devs love that shit, man. Dude, you don't think they appreciate that? Like, yeah, dude, we need more stories. We need this. We need that. Like, dude, devs appreciate that. You know what I mean? So they're not going to just sit there on their hands and let people just shit on something. Look, that's what I'm talking about.
That is a fun fact. His wife is Japanese. Mark Cerny.
Is she?
Yeah, his wife is. That is a fun fact. I forgot about that. Yeah. That is a fun
Mark
fact.
Cerny is a genius, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell by the way he was talking up there.
To add on to as well, to give you some more insight too. So you remember the M.2 drive that they were talking about for PS5? Mark Cerny was really specificating on. Now you and I both know, because we're both on PC, that the SSDs, like especially the higher tier ones for PC, have heat sinks, and you remember what I'm talking about? Like they have heat sinks. And so Mark stated that those type of M.2 drives more than likely won't be supported for PlayStation 5. And so this is actually going back to what Austin Evans said, because he actually did a video breaking down the system as well too. And he was talking about proprietary SSDs, and he was saying that more than likely Sony's going to have to offer their own proprietary SSD at this particular form. Do you think that might be the case? Because you think about it, Sony's SSD is not like the ones that we're typically seeing in the actual PC realm. This is something completely different. So this has to be specially made, right, from them and through a partner. So maybe Seagate, maybe Western Digital or Samsung, one of these companies.
Yeah, but did Mark Cerny say, we'll support M.2 drives, but don't go out and buy them yet? We'll specify which ones will be
he did. He did say compatible, but I think honestly, they're probably going to make their own. That's going to be the true optim. You know what I'm saying? For the true optimized performance. Because these have to perform at a certain way.
I don't think they're, bro. I really don't. I think Sony's done with the whole proprietary thing. Like I'm serious. Like it's different. Look, like I said, Microsoft, they can do it if they can make it a price where it's reasonable. People are not gonna have a problem buying these things. But if they're overpriced, if they're above the market rate, then people are not gonna buy it. Look, my M.2 drive, it's a Samsung Evo Pro or something. What is it?
I got a 970 Evo something. Yeah.
Those things are, dude. Even from a regular traditional SSD, those things are lightning fast. Like I thought it didn't make a difference, dude. I booted up to Division 2 on the M.2, and I booted up to Division 2 on the SSD, and it's almost like a 7-second difference, bro. And that's a lot, dude. That's a lot, dude. It really is.
Especially when you boot your system up to it in general, the boot speed for your system, like it's not even a wait time. All you see is the little diagnostic thing for 5 seconds, bam, done, and you're already up. So trust me, I know. Are great, these are great, and this is a good thing for consoles in general. We're over the bullshit hiccups of being limited to crappy CPUs, but also crappy GPUs. So both systems are going to deliver on every.
Mark Cerny already said that they can load in RAM and graphics so fast that at the end of the day, they don't have to worry about putting mountains in the way and corridors to hide the loading, because there is no loading. It's just everything is just going to be wide open, no tricks needed. Whereas Series X, right, because it fluctuates between 6 seconds to 8 seconds, they're still going to have to use techniques to hide that 6-second load.
Yeah,
like a bridge or something that obscures what's behind it for 6 or 8 seconds until you pass it, and then it will be loaded in. But it won't be like that on the PS5. Everything you could turn around left, right, and it will load before you get your eyes can see it.
Yeah.
On the fly.
Sure. I actually see them no longer. You remember how motion blur has been a consistent thing, especially with like games from Naughty Dog. Like when you turn the camera on super fast, you see the blur, and then like stuff will like render at the same time. That's no longer gonna be a thing for them. They don't have to use stuff like that. It's gonna be simple. So overall, man, we finally got all the specifications. Everything is done. What's up, Brittany? Messina, I see you. We finally got everything. Everything is out there. And the only thing that's going to be the deciding factor, which is what we stated numerous times, will be the games. So we will see just how...
You talk about Doom yet?
No, actually didn't. You want to add something about Doom?
Bro, add something. If you're not playing that game right now, if you're playing Animal Crossing over Doom, wow.
What's Animal Crossing about?
Animal Crossing's about if you have a girlfriend and you play it, she might walk in and leave you. That's what it's
about. Shout out to Kofi.
Game literally about. I mean,
no, it's like a city builder. It's people
city builder mixed with like I don't want to say
that game is gonna outsell everything.
It's a game that's got some kind of appeal. Like I can't really talk about it. Like I don't really play it. But
when the game first came out, I don't know if it still does it, but it goes with the clock of the system. So like if it's nighttime and it goes nighttime in there, and anyway, whatever.
It's like you're living your life. It's like you're literally building your life, living your life.
People are gonna love it while they're in quarantine because
dude, you know that's gonna be the most selling game.
That's the most evil laugh I've heard.
Court, was it you talked about this? Didn't you talk about this? You mentioned that game at PAX, right, Jess? Wasn't it like a big thing
Animal Crossing? Oh my God! People were crying when they saw the booth, and then you could like line up to take a picture and walk through like the booth that was like Animal Crossing. They had like the guy fishing there, the raccoon fishing. They had the lamb that with the umbrella. You could take pictures with them. Oh my God! Yeah, it was. People couldn't even get near it. Oh my God! Yeah, there's people on Twitter. They were crying and they saw it. Like, yeah,
you know the most likely scenario for how SSDs will be introduced to PS5, outside of Sony, is going to be this: third parties. Just like look at Nintendo Switch. Look how many third parties have jumped on the Switch to make docks, cases, all that stuff. You're going to have the similar thing with third party vendors who are going to get certified by Sony. Certified doesn't mean that it's not the Seagate situation. Certified only means Sony's going to make sure before you can say it's PS5 compatible, that they've had a look at it and can certify that it's not going to cause any problems. Or
they approve it.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be ones that are cheaper that will work too, and people will find them out, put them on Reddit.
And if you get third parties making all these SSDs for PS5, then it's going to be competitive pricing because they're all going to try and sell the most. But if you got one company, like in Microsoft's case, Seagate, being the main vendor, then the prices can be fixed.
Yep. And it's also a proprietary slot. That slot is a proprietary. That's not an M2 slot. That's not an EIE, whatever. Those are not PC slots. That's a proprietary slot made for the Xbox Series X that only Seagate is. Now, if they partner with other Western Digital to make one too, but that slot, you can't just buy anything off the shelf and use it. It's only Seagate.
I don't think Sony needs to partner with anyone,
They don't. They don't need to partner with anybody. They did the same thing with the
company's gonna approach Sony and say, Sony gonna hand out the specifications to those engineers who need it. Yeah, and it'll just be available online for them to just read. Like it's not even going to be some secret thing. And then they're going to make that specification. They're going to make SSDs for the right size, the right amount of speed to keep up with the hardware. Some are going to even be faster than Sony's. Some are going to be 7 gigabytes per second. But here's the thing: all Sony's got to do is that meets the PS5 specification, and that's it. They can advertise it on Amazon and say PS5 compatible.
Yeah,
but just like with the PlayStation 4, you could go buy an SSD, rip out their hard drive, and reflash it with some other hard drive. And there's some that hard drives that Sony certifies as swappable in hard drive, and some of them are not. But some it will work. The thing is that it's the port, and when we talk about proprietary, it's always the port. Like, why don't you just give me a mini USB or a USB-C? Like, no, we made our own kind of version of a USB, and that's like Lenovo has
charge
that.
you. What
we charge you
want to control it as well.
Exactly. So like that's the thing. Like the slot on the Xbox is a proprietary slot. The technology might be similar, but the thing is that Sony is an open market M2 slot. That's a universal port that all PCs use. Where that slot in the back of that Xbox, the only one that's going to do it is Seagate, unless they license it out to other people.
I think they're going to partner more. They'll definitely branch out.
I don't know.
Who knows? Another thing?
You would think,
Like, Microsoft have done this before.
Oh, they did it with the 360 drive.
When the 360 came out,
it was a 5400 RPM
hard drive. You had to put their big giant one and slide it on the top of the original.
And the thing was that it was a 5400 RPM hard drive that was just in a special casing to work.
And it was more than twice.
It was $130 for 100,
Yeah, but they dropped that real quick.
Yes, I do remember that.
They dropped that price, but
I remember when they launched the Super.
When they switched from the Slim,
they moved from the Elite to
That took a
the.
while though. But
then when they did the black console,
they had the original, because the original one slid off the top.
Hard drive.
That took years. That took
years though. Yeah.
You guys want to talk about? Wait, no. And then what happened was, right? You had to, when you bought a hard drive transfer kit, which I still have it.
Yeah.
You had to hook up the old 360 hard drive and plug it into the transfer kit, so it will transfer the data from the old 360 hard drive to the new black Xbox. And then they stopped packaging it, and you had to buy that transfer drive separately. The cable. It was like this.
They used to give it to you for free with when you buy a new Xbox.
Yeah,
hey, they got
I
HD
do remember
DVDs,
that.
man. Microsoft knows what they made HD DVDs. They know what they're doing, bro.
Yeah. And then the memory card.
Here's a question. Here's a good question.
I bought that too. King Kong and all that other stuff. You don't even want to know why I grind my gears and yell about Microsoft, because I've wasted so much money believing in them, and they just shafted me so many times.
A lot of people bought Zoom until Apple destroyed.
You know what? Don't even point your finger at me. I bought a Zune, and I bought a Zune for my wife, and I got all Zunes, and I bought the Zune HD. And I had the brown shit ass Zoom.
What about the Windows phones?
I got that too. I had the Nokia
Windows
950.
phones. They bought Nokia.
That's
well,
what
to be fair, everybody, Apple killed
I had that
everybody
too.
with that shit, man. Seriously, that
even Sony's what was that song? Not song.
Sony
what was that
Bios
phone?
died. Everything died, bro.
What was that phone they came out with? It was called the Xperia.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
you say the
Sony still does those Xperia.
Yeah, but
They do one, but let's be real. The
Blaze,
Xperia
Blaze.
was really no competition.
Let me just address Blaze. Blaze says, to an extent I agree with him, but he said everything dies. Vio died, but at least they were successful first before they died.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I had a
The
Vio.
Zune never
I had
was a
Vio.
success. Windows was never successful. The phones, the Zune player was never successful.
But what I mean by that
Died
is,
out the
it's
gate.
Apple. When the iPhone came out and the iPod came out, it was so like it moved the
It
world.
took
Like,
over.
everybody wanted
Yeah.
it. You know,
Changed-
BlackBerry
changed the
suffered.
whole-
Everything suffered.
Changed the landscape.
That's what I mean by it.
Yeah,
Change the
I
landscape.
bought like an HTC Wizard, which basically had Xbox Live Presence on it, and then I bought Windows Phone, all because I really was in the Xbox ecosystem, and then they kept getting me in, and I got involved in other things from Microsoft because it was supposed to all work together, but then they abandoned all that stuff.
Yeah. Etienne, I'll end the
Music,
show.
had that too. I still have a $100 Groove Music Pass that I can't use.
Yeah, I'll end the show with this question.
Do you remember VR? Sorry,
right
before you ask
here.
the question, let me just ask Jez. Do you remember the VR thing with Xbox when they said we're gonna have high fidelity VR? Yeah, and everyone was championing it on the Xbox side. VR is gonna kill PlayStation VR. Now, if you ask them, they'll say
That's high
VR.
fidelity.
Who cares about VR?
Yeah,
It's niche. It's
And
niche.
actually, I preferred even though the PlayStation VR is a lower resolution, the design of that headset is so much more comfortable than what the Vive was, like a goggles on my face. But the Vive is definitely awesome. But the PlayStation VR was definitely capable, and I like the PlayStation. I have two of them. I love the PlayStation VR. I think it's great, and I can't wait to see what the next iteration is and how we get benefits of the PlayStation VR. And they're still in it, man. They've been making great games for it too. Astrobot was awesome. Blood and Truth, awesome.
I got the new version and the old one. But yeah, the Astrobot What an underrated game.
Oh my God,
What a little
game's
fucking
crazy.
dude. That
Didn't it
game
win
is
awards? It
incredible.
won awards, didn't it? Astro?
Yeah, for a platformer and VR,
Bro, you guys gotta play that
awesome.
shit, man. Like the most
I want
innovative
Half-Life.
platformer.
I want the Half-Life VR game to come out on PS5. at some point.
Yo, that's gonna come out.
Yo,
I
you
wonder how
can
that.
use a PSVR
Wonder how
headset
Iron
on
Man's gonna
Steam,
play
by the
for
way.
him.
Yeah, Iron Man VR might be. It's gonna
Might be a
it's
sleeper
awesome.
hit. Might be a sleeper hit for him. You never know.
Batman was
Yeah.
cool, but it was short as hell though. But Batman was cool.
Yeah.
I liked Batman, but it really wasn't a game. Like it was really cool. Like I liked the end, how they did the mirror thing. It was really, yeah. The thing is that see when like we were saying about Half-Life, the fact that Sony's still in the VR conversation, there's potential that we might get that on the PlayStation VR, and that was my biggest criticism for
After
Microsoft not being
exclusivity
part of
period,
it.
right?
Exactly.
After they keep it exclusive for like a year.
Yeah, and the fact that Phil just dismissed VR and was like, "Ah, it's for PC. It's not for." He's not even in the conversation. Xbox and VR is not even in the conversation. At least,
Yeah, but they support it on the PC.
oh my god, that's trash. Those things, that Windows virtual environment, that's garbage. That's not
Oh,
even.
no.
They
I haven't
basically
even
just make
tried
it type into Steam. Those head-mounted displays, like the Samsung one,
Yeah,
they
but
just
they
made
can-
their OEMs do it.
Yes, I feel like Xbox could easily implement some sort of. I'm not saying it would be easy,
Simple.
but I feel like they could put something in where you could use a Vive or a, you know.
I think they
would
could.
That would be
Valves.
easy. You know why? They managed to get every generation of Xbox running. Okay, so if you can do that, you can easily patch in some VR fucking,
Support.
easy.
You
That'd
don't
be
want to
easy.
know where my head went with Microsoft with their potential. When they announced high fidelity VR, Kinect was still a thing. And I'm like, holy crap. Imagine if Kinect sees your environment, you're in VR, and basically it maps the exact environment inside
Extra
virtual
green
reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
That
it was
would've been
there. The
amazing.
technology, it was there. They just didn't do it.
What
Did
about
they-
Illumi
yeah,
Room?
yeah.
Remember Illumi Room? The room that
Yeah,
Illuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Illuma when it turns your
There.
vacuum.
They just stopped innovating. Halfway through the Xbox,
Yeah, I
they just
remember
said, they put their hands up.
Microsoft want to be PC like now. They want to
Well,
be more
yeah,
like
that's the
PC
thing.
hardware.
HoloLens, they didn't even really. Well, HoloLens,
HoloLens,
saw
they came out with a
for-
second one, dude. They came out with a second
Yeah,
one.
HoloLens, they see it for more commercial use, not necessarily strictly for
Yeah.
gaming.
You don't even
Satya.
find one in a hospital.
Satya
Yeah.
killed Xbox. That's why, and Phil is just his right hand man now. But Satya is the one who destroyed all the fun things that Xbox could have done.
I give
That
credit
son of a
to
bitch.
Phil Spencer though. He's kept.
He's
managed to
trying,
convince-
dude. He's his
managed-
right hand man,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, he's managed to convince Satya Nadella to like invest like in the
Yeah.
studio. That
He
must
gave
have
him
been
the Phil
hard.
Ness.
True.
That must have been hard to
That is
say.
very,
Listen,
very
man,
true.
don't worry, we're gonna get your Windows platform in everybody's home, but we're gonna do it
Exactly.
stealthily.
I'm sure he did. Sure he did.
Here's a good question for you guys to end the show. It's from 18 Ryan. He said, "Hey, Big Cloud, what do you guys think about Microsoft still using AA batteries and their controller?"
That's no big deal, man. You can easily buy a recharger battery kit and plug it in. They're only like $6.
Their batteries do. I'll tell you, their controllers utilize double really.
Really?
They didn't die real quick.
I've never
I-
bought batteries for my Xbox One controller. I immediately bought one
The
of these
rechargeable pack?
Venom chargeable packs. You plug it in. I got two for like the equivalent of $10.
Yeah, the nickel metal high drive rechargeables, they last forever too. And then, but
Do you know
that's
what I mean? I've never had a problem. Like if you're a sucker, to
I still don't
buying
think it makes sense,
Duracell
though.
batteries every day. There's something wrong with you.
It's weird that you have to still. You
It
know,
is a little-
yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's really weird.
Nah,
in
I
this
don't,
current
what
time.
happened? I think it's a big deal, man.
especially
I
that they
just thought
took it
these
out of the
batteries
two
for
now.
serious
Like that was the other thing. They did the bait and switch. Like they said, the Elite 2 doesn't have batteries, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, now they're moving to batteryless, like internal batteries now." And then they go right back to batteries.
Yeah, you know why they did that though? That's just going to be another perk to add to the list
Yo,
of
the Elite-
the other
the
Elite
Elite
controllers.
controller-
You know what,
Yeah.
do you know what the benefit is though?
That's going to be another curve.
Because you've got built-in batteries, yeah. Most people will just throw away the controller when it starts dying, but at least the Xbox One you can use it for however long it's
You get the-
viable.
The memory, yeah.
You know, because the
rechargeable memory
PlayStation
stuff.
4 ones, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, unless you go on the internet and you can be bothered to open it up with screws and replace the battery, most people don't do that. They just buy a new one. But at least the Xbox One, you can buy
Those
rechargeable.
Xbox controllers last forever with batteries. To be
They
fair.
do,
Like,
they do.
last forever.
They have done,
batteries.
yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
is
have a
it
big
lame?
light on them either, though.
especially if you turn the vibration off in the options, it will last you even longer.
Yeah, the Xbox is pretty
but
good.
the Xbox Elite Controller Series 2, it's USB-C. That thing is a work of art. You can tighten the analog sticks. It's USB-C. You can have the charging dock.
So let me ask you this, Blaze, because you reviewed the paddle attachments. Remember that video you did? Do you think Sony might attempt that for something like that? PS4,
I reviewed them
PS5?
both, but yeah, the paddle thing, when Sony puts out something like that, and towards the end cycle of the PS4, it makes me wonder, like, why now? And after they partnered with Razer, after they partnered with Scuff, after they partnered with all these companies to make third-party pro controllers, for them to put that out towards the end, I think they're just testing the waters. And I think. Look, I could be wrong, but I think these paddles, these two back buttons, might
become a thing
into the new controller.
Yeah, they might become a thing.
They will be. And not only that, you mentioned you could tighten up the triggers. You can do all that on the new PS5. You've got full control over the friction of the triggers, all the haptic stuff. You can adjust all of that. Trust me.
That would be awesome. That was the one thing I was a little disappointed in the Xbox reveal, that I felt like their controller, with all the evolution they were making with the Elite, like the different features with like tightening the things, even the hairline triggers, things that came over. I thought they would have some stuff from the Elite come over to the next generation controller.
If they do that,
can't sell
then they have no market for an Elite controller.
I think of new stuff. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I thought
they shaved the controller down. It's actually smaller than the Xbox One controller. The Xbox.
I read in an official Sony information spread about the controller that you can adjust the resistance of the triggers to make it feel tight or loose.
Yeah.
The PlayStation controller, that'd be pretty.
So if you like, imagine you're cocking back a gun in a game. Guns.
And you feel it.
But you typically have to pull the trigger really hard. You have to squeeze it hard. Not all triggers are loose. Some of them are tight. Like some people can't even pull them back. Do you know what I mean? And imagine
that would be pretty cool. Like that's I thought the hepatic thing that they're talking about with the hepatic triggers, where they're not just rumble triggers, but they actually have resistance to them. Like you're saying, like if you're pulling a trigger to an accelerator or to a gun, like you feel the resistance, like almost like an arcade machine.
You'll have that. And guess what game will take full advantage of something like that? Something like The Last of Us, because of the way you handle weapons in that game. Like it's not like a typical arcadey shooty game. It's got a lot of recoil in The Last of Us when you're firing guns. It's like very realistic. Imagine having haptic feedback and resistance to the triggers when you change. Every time you change a gun, like you go from a shotgun to a hand pistol.
Yeah, that would be so cool. That's what I'm thinking. I thought that the Xbox Series X controller would be a little bit more of have some like a little more mid things than just a share button and kind of little textured shoulder buttons and stuff like that. Like I thought it would have like something else in it. Maybe some resistive triggers or hairlines.
It may still do.
They just didn't really talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. It may. I reckon it will have it. I think it will have it as
well. Doesn't the Xbox One controller already have that?
No, it has rumble triggers.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah, they have haptic feedback triggers.
Yeah, that feels good for racing games.
It does.
The difference between this though, the difference between this compared to, I know a lot of people are like, well, did Microsoft had that at the start of the gen? Microsoft did have rumble in the triggers, but the difference between haptic and what Sony's doing, Sony's can be fine tuned due to the devs, like they can actually have patches and fine tune them.
They can put tension in the triggers
you could
to make you feel
yourself in the options menu. You're going to be able to adjust the trigger resistance for bows. If you're playing with a bow, an arrow in a game, or maybe you're throwing a spear and you pull your arm back to throw the spear, you're going to feel that resistance in the triggers and the controller. It literally is like a different experience now. And Xbox is going to have it. I'll tell you why. It's not exclusive to Sony. This is technology that's available to any company.
Yep.
We'll see.
That's true.
Maybe they're going to do a breakdown, because they really didn't break down the control too much. They just showed it.
No, they literally said you can adjust.
I mean, the Xbox One, they really didn't.
Oh, the Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, the Xbox really didn't break down the control, so maybe they do have it. But yeah, I was always hoping Sony's thing, was going to show the controller, because GDC 2013, they talked about the controller.
Right, you really want to see it. But that was literally, I think they were just ready to get everything out there at that time, back in 2013.
Did they show off the Pro when they did the Pro conference?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They did.
the Pro conference they did.
They showed off the Pro. They showed it off.
I don't remember.
The
Yeah,
PS4,
you remember the light, the little shelf came down, and then it was behind glass, and then he picked it up.
For the PS4, they didn't show it in February reveal, and they didn't show it at GDC. They showed it at E3.
E3, the console. That was the only thing you didn't see was the actual console.
They showed
but everything else
GDC.
you saw specs, controller.
Do you remember
games.
PlayStation meeting back in February?
Yeah.
Before that stage show, Sony did similar things to what they just did with Mark Cerny, but it was at GDC. So that's why people should stop looking at what they just saw as the PlayStation 5 reveal. It wasn't. It was for developers only.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody says that. Yeah. And
No, they're not. People are saying the PlayStation 5 reveal was rubbish. People keep saying it was lame. This event was lame. Like they're comparing it to like E3. It's not even that type of event, man.
Oh, yeah. They're moist. I mean, who cares what they're saying?
Yeah, but I care. You know why? Because it's very well an idiot spreading information, but it's like a virus. It goes from one ear to another.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the truth is completely being diluted, and we live in a Donald Trump era of nobody knows what's true anymore.
Well, again, they have their own agenda since they have no exclusive. Multi-plats is all they got, so they believe, even though it's wrong, they believe that the T-flop count, that the games are going to look and run better. And I just said, I don't know how the consoles are going to run games the same. They're going to literally be saying, well, our 4K is better than Sony's 4K. That's literally what they're going to say. That's why it's like, well, it's RDNA 2 light. It doesn't do ray tracing well. They're trying all these things.
But Craig,
so
2160p and 2160p is still 2160p, unless it's upscaled and checkerboard. That's different. But just because you have a more powerful console, if they're both native 4K, they're both native 4K.
Well, again, you're right, but the problem,
and both of them are going to use that. They're both going to use dynamic. They're both going to use dynamic resolution anyway when ray tracing. Enabled on very hardware intensive games. Trust me, even the Xbox Series X with its 12.1 T-flops is going to have to use some kind of dynamic resolution scaler for the most demanding scenes in games with ray tracing. Trust me, if you want to turn the ray tracing off, then you can have everything.
And you know what? I got a 2080 Ti, bro. I'm telling you right now. Do you know how much PC guys love resolution scale, because they can still keep their 4K image, and they're bringing back the pixels when your computer gets worked up the most, and it drops. You can't even tell the difference when it drops. It's so smooth.
Even Digital Foundry said it's going to be hard to count pixels next gen, because the technology they're using is going to, our machines, we have to change our whole way of counting pixels, because
the
anti-aliasing is so good.
500% this time.
Let me finish. The anti-aliasing is so good that even if something is like not true 4K, let's say it's 1900p or just under 4K, you won't be able to tell.
Well, the game they're already pointing to is something that calls itself a cyberpunk. I mean, they're already pointing to, because I guess CD Projekt Red said they would enhance it already for the Series X.
You're gonna play Cyberpunk. I don't know why we act like you don't.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's called Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna force you to play Cyberpunk.
Well, they're literally, but again, they have are multi-plats. They say we have to have more power, because then more people will come and play the console. Yeah, you can look at what happened with Xbox X. Throw that up, and even though that's right in front of them, they're not talking about the Xbox X anymore. They don't care about it. They want this generation over with. They don't care.
It's true, isn't it? Suddenly the Xbox One X is irrelevant. Just like the Xbox One S. Remember when the Xbox One S came out? Mm-hmm. Everyone kept saying how, this is amazing. Then
HDR and shit.
Then they started calling the Xbox
I bought two
One
TVs for HDR.
Then they started calling the Xbox One X. Then they started calling
the Beast is coming with Xbox One X. Now
they gave me some friggin'
man. I just want to say this one thing. When the Xbox One S came out, they were praising it. As soon as the Xbox One X came out, suddenly the Xbox One S has soup graphics. Remember that? Soup.
Yeah. They talk about soup textures. I do remember that.
I mean, the S was never going to be anything different other than the 4K Blu-ray player. It's not like it was going to.
You tried telling them that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was better than the
No,
Pro.
hey Fox. You know my favorite one, and I'm surprised you didn't mention this. Shame on you for not mentioning it. The power of the cloud is more powerful than 4 Titans.
And no one don't care about that no more.
Crackdown 3 was supposedly using like 20 Xbox X glasses like that, like to render those.
Crackdown 3 could, with the power of the cloud, can render.
Going back,
people are past that now.
Going back to that Xbox One S, if you remember, they launched that thing and they were talking about 4K upscaling from the capabilities of that machine.
Yeah.
It was
That's why
HDR and
people said
4K upscaling.
That's why people said it was better than the Pro, because it had a 4K and it could upscale in 4K. So they were comparing it to the Pro, saying it's better.
Yeah. 4K, and then they dropped
your
that
TV
4K
upscales for you. You know your 4K TV
I
already
know it does
upscales.
Dude, but they said that was in the console, like 4K upscaling chip.
And only in the console market space will you hear 1440p. And, oh my God, it's running at 1440. You know, everybody I play with plays at 1440p max. I'm playing. Look, I could play at 4K, but I have better frames at 1440p maxed out. And I dare someone to tell me this game looks so incredible at 1440p max. So only in the console market do you hear like them nitpicking over little tiny numbers in 1800p. And
there's no
1400p is 1440p is what the majority of PC gamers now play at. The 1080p.
When you don't have the games to boast about, you can only talk about.
I guess you're right.
Well, again, this is why the people who are buying the Series X at launch, I just kind of make that Opie face. I'm like, well, they're not going to have anything. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with a group of people who they just want this generation to be over. They don't want to talk about anything else but the teraflops of Series X. They're trying to figure out ways to tear down the PlayStation. Oh, it won't do this. It won't do that. Doesn't have this. Doesn't have that. They're liars. I mean, doesn't do SMT.
That's why I'm having fun with them on. That's why people think I'm getting into the whole. People got me wrong. They think, oh, look at you getting back into the whole, crumb side crap. I'm not. I'm just saying what I'm saying, and I know it's hurting a lot of people. That's all I'm doing.
Fox, you're a Sony fanboy. That's it.
I'm not a Sony fanboy. I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I don't care about any other Sony products. I only like the PlayStation. I don't own Sony I don't own anything that's Sony in there apart from PlayStation. I don't have a Sony TV. I don't have a Sony anything. Just PlayStation. A Sony fanboy would have everything Sony. All they care about is Sony. No, I care about the games. If Microsoft have the best games this gen, right? Trust me, unlikely, but if they did have the best games this gen, you'd see how my rhetoric changes, because I change where the game quality is. That's where I go.
You will understand the power of PlayStation.
Well, on that note, Ryan, there you go.
All right, well, shout out to everybody, man. Episode 106. Appreciate everybody who came through. Hope you guys enjoy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope you guys had an awesome time. Had fun talking. Hit that like button if you did. Do appreciate everybody who came through.
Fun.
It was awesome show. Shout out to everybody. Big
I had
shout
a
out to my
pizza in
brother.
between as well. When you didn't hear me, I was having my pizza.
Yeah. I gotta go eat dinner now, actually.
Big shout out to my homie Jez here for jumping on
thank you
board.
very much, man.
It's always
pleasure speaking with you guys.
Oh,
yeah, Jez, come back again, man. It was a very
thanks, man.
What's the word? Amicable human being.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're gonna link up with Jez very soon anyway, because that Predator hunting grounds open beta, we got to do that, because I got to hit up Mr. Geo and give them that feedback if it's if we got a banger on
stay
us.
From coronavirus.
Man. Everybody
make sure you stay away from your old folks, grandparents. Don't kill the older members of your family.
All right.
But real talk. But Jez, you killed it, man. As always, you killed it. Good shit.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank
Absolutely. Go ahead, tell them where to find you. Go ahead, shout out the
just check Ultra Preset Podcast every Tuesday night with Merc and Frogs and Meds. We're over on Merc 305's channel, Ultra Preset Podcast. I do my own Grinds My Gears show at Jez7780 with Grinds My Gears on YouTube. And then follow me over on the Twitters at Jez7780.
And shout out to everybody who helped my good friend Merc305. He just mentioned become Twitch affiliate. So
nice. He was too short when we started.
Too short.
Congratulations,
awesome,
Merc.
Man. I'm Twitch affiliate as well. Now I Twitch on that. I use
Yo,
Twitch
you tell your boy. Oh, he's my boy too. But you tell your boy Mark, I'm coming for him. Tell him to watch his mouth.
All right. Well, Jez, thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Mr. Blaze 4K, what's up, bro? Go ahead, hit that.
Sorry I came late, guys. I really.
That's all good.
But yeah, man. Again, the panel always flows, man. Like today, I felt like everybody wanted to get off. Everybody has something. I like when people are passive. You can tell when people can't speak, like they're trying to fucking squeeze their words in. You can tell like people just passionate in what's going on. They're trying to get their words off. So I like when it's like it's a little bit. It's okay when it's spicy. You know what I mean? But yeah, Craig, Jez, Fox, Ryan, I always appreciate you, bro. Like I said, Ryan is one of those guys that gives everybody a shot. Big, small, medium, don't matter.
He's like Simon Cowell. Everyone gets
very humble.
That's great.
So humble. I'm telling you, bro, you're a humble dude. Like I don't, we're all nobodies on this shit. And not to like degrade us, but it is what it is.
Well, you're right. I'm not a celebrity, so yeah.
Nah, I appreciate it, boys. I really, really do. The Messiah. What can they
Where was Carlos quickly? What happened to Carlos?
Carlos, he couldn't make it. He's moving back in. He's doing a few things outside. Nah, I got a text from him. He couldn't make it. But the Messiah.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate being here. And yeah, looks like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is free this weekend on PlayStation. So if you all haven't played that yet, try that out. And I bought it, like I said, for like $20 and got the gold edition. It's one of my favorite games. But yeah, Resident Evil 3 demo, MLB shows out, Neo 2. Go out there, like Animal Crossing, Doom. You want to play Doom? Yeah. So yeah, you got plenty of games, and this we got some information on PS5. Hopefully that's enough. That's enough of an appetizer to get you to Ghost of Tsushima, and it is for me. But yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And shout out to Jez for swinging by. Still waiting on my invite. I promise I won't bust no cheeks if I get invited to your podcast.
No problem, man.
You're an Xbox fanboy, so you'll probably get a slot. Don't
I'm
the side of Xbox. Get him in there.
I need to come and bless the podcast.
There you go.
I'm just trying to trigger. I'm trying to trigger meds in these guys over there.
Trigger meds.
It don't take much to trigger meds. It don't take much.
Yeah, man, get triggered all the time.
It don't take much. Shout out to meds.
Shout out to meds.
Little trash bag. But no, that's like Blazer said, that's our favorite trash bag.
Yeah, he's our number one.
Mr. PlayStation News now. In the past, now he's Mr. Foxy Games UK. He's
Sean
Fox
Fox
of PlayStation. Mr. Foxy Games UK, you have the floor.
Oh God!
Like y'all cringed.
Trash bags. Fox?
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, I was letting you finish.
Oh, who came in? Carlos came in.
Oh yes,
Oh, he came to get his outro. Okay, late.
Oh yeah, I don't know the calamity that's going on with this bullshit in New York City, man.
Oh, I heard. I already heard, bro.
Dude, where are you calling from, man? Australia. The line is really low.
Oh, I'll turn him up.
Yeah, New York is crazy right now, man. You guys are locked down.
He in a bunker somewhere, man, hiding out from that COVID-19.
We Brad Pitt running the streets soon.
Oh God.
Brad Pitt.
Hey, bro, we pretty much at the end. Just hit him with that outro. Well, I'm gonna let Fox do his though.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, if you're like me, you're gonna own most of the consoles anyway. I own, so I'm gonna enjoy each console for their merits. PlayStation 5 is literally, in terms of at least Sony first party, believe me, PlayStation 5 game design is changing. It's gonna be a game changer. There's gonna be games that are not possible on other platforms strictly because of the limits that have been removed in terms of next-gen game design. right? Mark Cerny said it himself. It's just not me here pipe dreaming. Do you know what I mean? Fat pipe dreaming. Mark Cerny said it. You know, all of those techniques they had to use for Jack 2 and other games. Put a mountain here so you can't see the assets loading in the distance. You know, the next set of memory. All that's going to be gone. So you're going to be playing a game. You look left, you look right, you look behind you in whatever motion you want. You'll never notice graphics loading in. It will happen before your eyes can perceive it. It'll be imperceptible to the human eye, according to Mark Cerny. And this is all done on the fly. So an Xbox has got that brute force power, like I said. And I don't want people to think that brute force is a negative thing. It's not. All brute force means is it doesn't need to use tricks and techniques and be overly efficient to get the job done. It just means it has the grunt to just reach whatever. It's like having your PC in it, the most powerful gaming PC. You know, whatever you've got running on your PC in terms of the hardware, that's the most you'll get out of the game. That's pretty much what Xbox Series X is. But Sony's is more finessed. You know, there's nothing wrong with either of them, and there's nothing, you know, particularly special one over the other. They both got their methods. But Sony's seem to be more cost effective, cost efficient, hardware efficient. And if that saves me money at the counter when I'm picking these consoles up, well, I'm happy with that.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you as always. Mr. Carlos Fernandez, he still made the show even though we're at the end, but hey, he still showed up. What's up, brother? Go ahead, hit that outro. I know we try to make it, but we're pretty much at the end. Carlos? No, he stepped away. Well, let me go ahead and shut this down. Hey, Rob, get well. Hope everything is good for you. You get well, my brother. Appreciate you coming through. You made the show, even though you're predicament. Hope you heal up nicely and everything is good for you. Everybody in the chat, again, hope you guys enjoyed the show. See you guys next Friday. Y'all have an awesome one. This is Big Cloud Gaming. It's the crew. We are most certainly signing out. That is episode 106 in the books. Like my homie Carlos would say, gamer by choice, not by trend.
Not by trend. Yes, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for my indiscrepancies of latenesses, but damn coronavirus. Y'all enjoy these next gen consoles. Just enjoy them for what they bring to you for entertainment purposes and for what they are capable of. No more of the 12T flop, 10T flop bullshit. Let's just play games. Plain and simple.
Amen. I'll see you guys next week. We out of here. Deuces.